So we start what's trending today with the Nigerian booth at TCAD, the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, now officially open for business on the second day of the conference. So here the booth is, just hours ago, looking busy. You have some officials taking enquiries from investors. It's a totally different look from yesterday when there were countless questions, reactions, and different takes about why the Nigerian booth on the very first day of the conference was completely empty when every other country's was up and running. So let's play a quick clip from yesterday.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel TELECAST TV. I'm Miracle Angala. You're watching a conversation about trending news in Nigeria and all around the world. Nigerian booth opens on second conference day. 700 Nigerians stranded in Libya. Governor Soludo speaking about vigilantes being trained after a viral video of them being seen beating and molesting corps members. Those vigilante personnel have been removed. Imo State and Edo State ban nursery graduation event. State tells students to use sibling textbook. Omar said TV should show coastal road progress. The road that has been done. Abuja to Lagos road to start this year. UNILAG students scores international scholarship. Endeavor to watch to the end. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Subscribe, like, comment, and share your thoughts. Don't miss trending videos.
I've been going around, right? So Senegal, Sierra Leone, Republic. You can see all the booths are, and you can see Sierra Leone. And then you come to, Equatorial Guinea. And then you come to the giant of Africa. And there's zero people there, zero. Not one, no, zero. But all the people that left Nigeria on your planes, not a single person is manning a stand of the biggest country on the continent. Every other country is represented and how people manage their stand. Then you come to our own Nigerian stuff and there's nobody.
So this whole conversation started with Idris Ayodeji Bello. He's a Nigerian social entrepreneur who wrote on X, "I hate to show negative things about Nigeria, but it's sad that Nigeria is the only unmanned booth in Japan. Only God knows how many Japanese folks have asked me about the booth, seeing my dressing, so ashamed. I have now designated myself as honorary consul and taken over to engage visitors." So yesterday, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs pushed back against all of this, saying that the booth would open today, which it has. But this whole booth matter has been trending online a lot, and some people are saying they're not surprised our booth wasn't ready on time, that it's a cultural problem. Rufai, I'll start with you because I know you like to say culture will eat strategy for breakfast.
That's me.
What's going on with our booth in Tokyo?
Nigeria happened to the booth in Tokyo. Pure and simple. At first, I'm not a fan of conferences like this because the same old talk shop and tokenism happens in the end. But the painful part is when you are given a booth and you are not there and you claim that, the booth was supposed to be inaugurated the next day. And when you look at it, there were other people manning their booth and Nigeria's booth was empty while others were manning their booth and were interacting. It speaks volumes. I think it was Ralph Waldo Emerson that says, "What you do speaks so loud I can't hear what you say." And that's what's happening here. So the young man pointed it out, but true to type, the ministry, what did they do? They reacted by saying, "No, it's one day after. Why were they not there on day one?" In fact, the funny part was the presidency. I struggle to find logic in the thought process of the message released by the presidency as regards this. Because logic means responding to the a priori. What's the a priori here? Nobody manned the booth. The presidency released a message and said, "No, we are laser focused on interaction. Our minister XYZ is talking here and there and everything." And they had a merry-go-round. I'm like, where is the a priori? The logic, the a priori was the fact that nobody was manning the booth. respond to nobody manning the boat. Say no. Laser focus on striking other deals and a merry-go-round with that. So where is the logic? And it reflects the Nigerian thing. Even when they finally man the boat, what's the quality of product they put on the boats? I mean, we've seen Nigeria go to conferences where they man the boats. And what are they showcasing as Nigeria gift on the, what's it for, Nigeria's proposition to the one on the boat? Kilishi. No. There was one put like that.
What do you want them to play?
Where we are thinking of, okay, Nigeria's inventiveness and everything, Kilishi. So, you see, we go for a lot of this conference, we see a lot. Mm-hmm. And it's not a laughing matter, but this has always been Nigeria all this while. Mm-hmm. When you paint it out, the government officials will react. The question is, I'm not saying, no, don't showcase Kilishi or anything. But the question is, are there other things that we can do that is high-value products? Are there many other things we can do? Can we even just get it right for a bit? Can we even just have a reason to smile? Yes, there are people in the diaspora that make us smile every day. Can our government just make us roar for joy and say, yes, I'm so proud to be Nigerian. I'm proud to be Nigerian irrespective of the government. But they have a way of letting us down. If it's not attending to boots on time, it's packing almost the whole 9 yards and almost everybody and everybody's in-law to COP, to go to Dubai back in the days. So there's always something wrong in the value chain.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the main purpose that we're told that President Tinubu is in the TCAD 9 was to attract investors, to sell Nigeria as the biggest market in Africa with a lot of opportunities, as he said in his speech. And yet, the same country did not have a stand at the trade expo. There is a contradiction there. And this speaks to the point I've been making about the fact that we go to these conferences, we're not prepared. Even if it's a trade expo, other African countries had activity in their booths from day one of the conference. It's about trade, about partnership. Nigeria is now giving excuses that, oh, we didn't go there for trade expo. So what did you go there to do? This is about trade and investment. So the argument, the explanation offered by Mr. Bayo Ononuga is an afterthought, just trying to cover up the lack of preparedness of the Nigerian delegation. The second point is that this also speaks to the problem we have with our various missions. You remember that since the ambassadors were recalled from all over the world, some of even those missions, they were streamlined. In every Nigerian embassy, and we have a Nigerian mission in Japan, in Torunono Street in Tokyo, is the trade department in that mission, is it still working? Because every embassy will have a trade representative. This is not something they had to organize from Nigeria. The trade mission in Japan could easily have manned that stand. And it's not about taking products there. You could just have information sheets about Nigeria. You could have a laptop there, or a computer, some audio-visual thing that can show aspects of Nigeria, and you can use that also to, promote the country. But the explanation we have been given is that, the president will hold bilateral meetings, this person will hold a meeting with that person. Okay, is it not better to just have that booth where you sell Nigeria visually and through audio?
Yeah.
So this is what we say about our team, always going to these conferences totally unprepared. But they will not forget to go for shopping. And if we raise the question, is shopping part of the agenda? Nobody will be able to answer us.
Right.
They will not forget to do tourism on the side, and they will not forget to collect their Esther coats. Nobody will forget that.
Nobody forgets
They are
that.
better prepared for that.
Esther
So
code.
I find it very embarrassing that the largest market in Africa at a major trade and investment summit, when they are unprepared.
Absolutely. So from Japan, Let's stay on this topic of Nigerians outside Nigeria, because right now the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission is making it known that 7,000 Nigerian migrants are currently stranded in Libya. So the details came out late last night with the chairman of the commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, saying, quote, "As we speak, 7,000 Nigerians are stranded. In 2025, people still travel through the desert to die." She made these comments at the launch of the International Organization for Migration Strategic Plan for Nigeria, because the IOM has consistently ranked Nigeria as one of the countries with the highest rate of irregular migration in the world. And at this meeting, they also discussed the importance of addressing the root causes of migration and how to provide safer alternatives for young Nigerians looking to go abroad. And I'll start with you on this one. How are you reacting to this story?
Right, thank you for that last part, which is why don't we tackle the root cause? I'm glad that we have statistics. I think that's important to know the number of people, at least have an idea of the number of people that we have abroad who are living, people going there for a better life, who have migrated irregularly, whether through the desert or so. And as we said earlier this morning, we had talked about why some, crime persists, terrorism persists. It's the same reason, very similar to why people are looking for any means whatsoever to travel anywhere. Like, if you look at some of the countries where you find Nigerians in, you would wonder, what are you looking for in this particular country? This is a country where there's abuse of human rights, there's high levels of racism or xenophobia, and yet you'd rather go there than stay in Nigeria. Many reasons, but particularly at the very core of this is poverty and lack of aspiration or lack of opportunities or enabling environment to thrive. We call America the land of great opportunities, the dreamland. Nigeria should become like that. We talk about how even in Japan currently, they've acknowledged that on the African continent, Nigeria being one of it, has a youthful population, that our young people are our greatest assets. But we've not been able to tap into this assets that we have as young people. And instead, we keep losing our young people, whether they are jackpotting or migrating legally or migrating illegally, and then they are maltreated in foreign missions. The task I'll put to Ms. Abike Dabiri Erewa, who's done quite a good work with regards to Nigerians abroad and trying to ensure that she keeps tabs on what's happening to us, is to find out how to engage with other government parastatals and stakeholders to engage our young people meaningfully, to engage our young people in such a way that they find it less attractive to want to risk their lives and their well-being by going to these places and then being maltreated, so that Nigeria becomes a place where people actually want to stay. So this is also posing to the president, who when he was campaigning, had identified the young people as one of the greatest assets and said he was going to really do a lot of work with young people in Nigeria, to take that to. We are failing our young people. We are failing the people of Nigeria, and we will not see an end or a reduction in these numbers as long as the nation or the country is not conducive for people to thrive, to live and thrive. It's a shame that even in 2025, people are still going by boat, still going through the desert, and going to be killed. That's the worst part of it in this nation, of being, to be thrown in jail or maltreated in this way. So NIDCOM has done well, but let's do better to ensure that we're not just rescuing Nigerians, we're preventing Nigerians from going, to these places to be maltreated.
The main root cause is the economic adversity in Nigeria, the loss of dreams for the average Nigerian, the absence of an enabling environment under which the Nigerian youths can prosper and flower. 2, the delusion that there is the grass is greener on the other side. 3, Libya is a transit route. They want to cross the Mediterranean to get to Europe because the channel there is close to Europe.
Yeah.
Now, IOM, International Organization for Migration, says since 2001, 70,000 Nigerians have been repatriated, many of them returning home under terrible conditions. And yet you still find more people going through Libya. And in Libya, they are subjected to slavery, they are maltreated. There have been reports of how Nigerians are treated in Libya. And yet our people continue to go because they've lost faith in their country. I think a lot has to be done in terms of public enlightenment, that life is not better necessarily on the other side. There are many Nigerians who are living abroad who are basically struggling to survive. It's not that easy. But yet, our young Nigerians have this belief that, oh, once you can cross the Mediterranean, many die in the process. Their boats capsize. So I think we just need to do a lot more in terms of public enlightenment, this JAPAP syndrome. But then we have to improve conditions at home so that people can have that sense of patriotism that their country believes in them so that they too can believe in their country. This disconnect between state and individual is at the very root of it.
Absolutely. And, like we said, these are numbers that we're seeing, but at the end of the day, these are individual people's lives. So let's now come back to Anambra State, where in a new interview on Arise last night, Governor Chukwuma Soludo condemned the violent attack of an NYSC Corps member by a vigilante group and confirmed that the men in the video have all been dismissed. So the governor, expressing outrage over the whole incident, says that all 8 vigilantes in this video, they've been fired, they've been arrested, and they're now under investigation. But he also made it clear that this one event shouldn't necessarily be representative of Anambra as a whole.
This event happened on the 23rd of July. And we're very law-abiding people. Rule of law, security of life and property happen to be our number one agenda. That's the number one in our 5-pillar agenda. And our people swung into action immediately. Immediately this was brought to the attention of our Homeland Security team. And those guys were arrested instantly.
So Governor Soludo also said that the remaining members of the vigilante group have been undergoing retrainings, that they've also issued them with some sort of code of conduct. Rufai, I'll start with you on this. How are you reacting to Governor Soludo and just everything that's been going on there?
Okay, I was watching a sister channel this morning. I think Law More 4 was on. And I think Law More 4 is the Commissioner of Information. And he was asked a question. He said, what's the code of conduct and standard operating procedure training given to these people? This Agune chamber. And he talked about the fact that, yes, that the police trained them and all of that. And I keep asking, is this how the police trained them? What's the standard operating procedure? What are the bounds? What binds them? How do we prosecute them? Governor Soludo is saying, yes, they've been dismissed. Yes, good move. But these people must face the full wrath of the law. So what penalties are going to be meted out to them? What is the code of engagement? Like they pulled a woman out and they stripped her naked. You see, what's the madness about seeing a woman's nakedness in this country? And I think it's a direct assault on women. And I'm speaking up for women today. From comfort.
Yes.
Now this another woman. You harassed her and you stripped her naked. So what's the madness about seeing a woman's nakedness that a lot of people enjoy in this country, or these people that perpetrate this heinous act enjoy? So we want justice to be done. And we don't just want they're stripping them off, they're going to retrain them and put them in again. Obviously, it shows that the training they gave them was fought in the first place. And that's why I'm not so comfortable with Law. My first answer today, but what's the code of conduct at which they operate? But also, why are we having vigilantes? Breakdown of law and order, that's just it. It goes back to why a lot of people are having mass migration out of the country and going to countries that before now were not a lot better. People, you're talking about Libya, people migrate to neighboring West African countries. You know, it's up apart from even Niger, countries like Sierra Leone, countries like the Gambia, Nigerians are going there now because when you look at the exchange of the Dalasi to our own currency, it's a lot higher. So anywhere that the economy looks slightly better, they are going there. And that's to show how things are wrong. I was part of by happenstance, I was on the flight that also was going there to evacuate some people from Ivory Coast. And I spoke to them. It goes back to the state of play of the economy. Mm-hmm. Well, and there are a lot of people. In fact, what the people then told me in Abidjan was the fact that what you are seeing in Abidjan is even small. that there are lots of Nigerians stuck in Mali, in different mining camps around Mali, that they are being abused, that it's just so difficult to be able to get them out.
Yeah.
So we should also look at that Mali. They kept on saying Mali. So we need to introspect fully and just make this country work. That's all we ask. This country is beautiful. It's great. It's got great potential.
Well, in the specific case of Miss Jennifer Elobo, right? I think that's her name. We should also note the efforts that have been made by the Anambra State government. 8 of the Agune Chamber operatives have been fired. The state government, the state governor, has also directed that they should be prosecuted because what they did to that lady was a violation of her right to the dignity of the human person. I support the view, I don't know whether this will pass through the legislative process, that any man that strips a woman naked by way of assault should be deemed to have committed a crime, should be treated as a felony. Because indeed, what are they looking for? Every little, confrontation with a woman, they are going for a certain part of the woman's body to satisfy their own, criminal voyeurism.
Sad.
That's another part of it. But the state government has now gone a step further to say that the government will be responsible for all our medical expenses. There will be further investigation. An apology will be issued to her family, and to the NYSC and Nigerians in general, and all our valuables that were damaged, laptop and phone, the state government will replace. But it's important that these vigilantes, whether in Anambra State or anywhere else, should have what is called standard operating procedure. That is what is called standard operating procedure. But unfortunately, even the police do not respect any standard operating procedure. So you have some of these outfits who behave even worse than the police, whereas they are supposed to be supplementary forces in a country where the protection of lives and property will seem to have failed.
Right. So many threads to follow on that story. We'll keep watching it. So from Anambra, let's now go to Edo State, because we're learning that it's just joined Imo State in officially banning graduation ceremonies for kids in nursery and primary school. So the Edo State is saying it's only students who finish junior and senior secondary school who will be allowed to have modest celebrations for their achievements. Again, this announcement is literally coming just 3 days after Imo State did something similar. Imo State said that graduation ceremonies and parties for kindergarten, nursery, and JSS 3 students are hereby abolished. The aim is to ensure that everyone and the schools focus on the academic achievements of students at the end of their education. Both states are also saying that any approved textbooks that have been used by a student's older siblings can and should be reused by younger siblings as long as the books are approved. And, responses online are pretty mixed. Some are saying, yeah, this is good for cost saving. Others are kind of asking, how do these bans on graduation events impact living standards in a tangible way? So first Imo State, now Edo State, and I'll start with you. Why do you think we're seeing this now?
All right, so at the end of the term or session, I think it was in June or July, we saw so many pictures and different. In fact, if you are graduating from nursery school, there'll be a big ceremony. I think it's just to clamp down on what it then causes, which is sometimes corruption by the institutions who are doing it. Because some of these institutions or schools put a mandatory fee for parents to pay. It's not just about the cost of the outfits, but some people have to pay money. And in a country where we're talking about how we can help people save money, encourage parents to take their children to school, if you struggle to pay the school fees, struggle to pay the other things that they talk about, extracurricular activities, sports fee, uniform, all those things, then at the end of the day, you now get pressured to pay money for graduation. That's an added pressure on parents. And so this is welcome development in terms of we still have graduation, but for now, let's keep it to basic education. That is primary school to JSS 3 and then SS3 senior secondary education. Now, if as a family, you want to celebrate your child for graduating, by all means, do it privately. But I think in schools, it should not be made mandatory so that people don't have to feel pressure to spend that amount of money. But I think even more important than that, so I see reason with people who are saying that that's not the biggest challenge we have in our education system, is the fact that also in those states, they're saying they're going to introduce entrepreneurial skills as part of the curriculum for GSS3 students, which is excellent. We've often called for that, expand the curriculum, let it also match the reality of today's world. Entrepreneurial skills, being able to, as part of basic skills for students. I think that's bigger news than this ban. But I think it's important to look at the economic reality of parents and look at what suits. And I think it's no-brainer to say that if an elder child use a textbook, you shouldn't force, because that's how they make money, illegally, sort of, in these schools. So it's good to see that ban on it.
Very interesting. Even I remember using my older siblings' textbooks when I was in school. So moving on, we talk a lot about infrastructure and roads on this show. And now we're hearing from the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, saying that 2 TV stations should be taken to the site of the Lagos-Calabar Highway every week as they build that road until the work is finished. So Umahi reportedly made these comments during an inspection of the project, and according to him, this would enable Nigerians to know, understand, and most importantly, see the effort that's going into the building of this highway. As background, this coastal highway is one of this administration's major road projects and projects overall. It's projected to cost around 15 trillion naira. So one person on X saying, if the road is completed, it would be in use right now. I don't understand the reason why 2 TV stations are needed to verify that the road is completed. Another saying, Nigerians have heard many promises before. What matters now is real progress, not just cameras and talk. And this comes as a different construction company, the AEC Unity Network, says work on the Abuja to Lagos superhighway should start before the end of this year. Speaking a few days ago, the chairman of the construction company says that once they get approval from the FEC and the road is finished, people would apparently be able to travel from Abuja to Lagos in just 4 hours. So this last project from Abuja to Lagos is one that seems to have been in the discussion stage for some time. So Dr. Abati, I'll start with you. What's your reaction to Umahi's comments and also the potential of this Abuja to Lagos road?
Okay. The Minister for Works, Engineer Dave Umahi, saying that, look, every week maybe 2 television stations will be allowed to come and see progress being made on the Lagos Calabar Highway. Now, I've seen some reports indicating that portions of that road have been completed and that Lagosians are already using that route. Now, if you stay in a section of a hotel, you are likely to see some traffic along that road. Now, the persons who are using that road, I don't know the limit, to which they can travel on that road. But I think it's important. The way that I see Minister Umahi's point is for transparency purposes. Saying, okay, whatever we're doing here, we will throw it open so that media houses can come and report. But those media houses should not be the ones that are handpicked by the minister. Because, of course, you can have some media houses, they will guide, and supervise sections that you can show. You know how it's done. And then the TV houses will tell us, oh, this is what we have seen. This is what, for reasons, very well known. We will want, even if it's ordinary citizen that wants to go and check. Citizen action. We don't need to say, oh, this is a chosen media house this week. No. Citizen action. People who are using that road themselves can report back to us. I think that's important. Now, as for Chief Kenny Martins, Chief Martins is, is chairman of a construction company that's going to do Lagos to Abuja expressway. Well, to the extent that that will open up the country, fine. 4 hours from Lagos to Abuja, fine. But what will be the route of that road? The existing route will take you almost a whole day to get to Abuja. You can't even travel successfully between Ibadan and Ilorin. So where would that route be? Or is it the same route towards Ilorin that they have been trying to construct for more than a decade?
Right.
Is that what they will be able to do within 6 months.
Right.
So there are questions to be asked. And of course, there's the large crowd of Nigerians out there who will ask the question, how is that a priority, considering other challenges that we are facing?
Absolutely. So now, as always, we'll end the show with some good news, because we'll often hear people talk about the power of education, but it's a different thing when you can see it in people like Samuel Badekale. He's a University of Lagos graduate who's just been selected for a master's scholarship to study biomembranes in France, Italy, and Germany. So earlier this year, he was also named the best overall graduating student in science with a perfect GPA of 5.0. Studying cell biology and genetics at Unilag, Badekale has now gotten what's called the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters in Biomembrane Scholarship. Announcing it on X, he said he was selected as the only Nigerian and West African for the Masters, where he'll be studying in France, Germany, and Italy. And he then talks a little bit about his backstory, saying, "As I look back, I see a young boy from Mushin with a big dream to explore the world, make positive impact. And today, by God's faithfulness, that dream is gradually becoming a reality." He then tells every student to trust God, hold their education, and remember, education is still one of the most powerful keys to move you from your local community to the global stage. Congratulations.
So proud.
What a beautiful story. Absolutely.
From Mushin to the world.
From Mushin to the
Please
world.
make sure you come back, and because that course is really, really important for a country like Nigeria, cell membrane. So I hope he comes back to Nigeria.
Must he come back?
Let's,
If his talent is required in other parts of the
let them
world.
use it from here to the other part of the world.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you.
And that's all on today's edition of The Morning Show.